Hello, everyone. I am ecstatic to be back here on 1495 Sports, bringing you the Mixer with Steven Dumeng. It's been too long. I feel like it's almost been about 10 years. But we're here. We're back. We're here to talk some MMA, one of my favorite sports, if not my absolute favorite sport. And let's get rolling. We have a very busy weekend ahead of us with UFC and Bellator hosting events. I cannot wait. This Saturday, October 7th is going to be amazing for us fans. We have so much to look forward to. So let's just jump right in. We have our main event with Grant Dawson going head-to-head with veteran Bobby Green. And I'm really looking forward to this fight. Bobby Green has had almost 50 MMA fights alone, and a very much of a roller coaster in the UFC. We just saw him submitting Tony Ferguson in his last bout, and prior to that, suffering a couple losses. But again, Bobby always a threat no matter what, and he'll be facing the undefeated in the UFC, Grant Dawson, who I believe is 8-0-1 at the moment in UFC. And I think, he's got prospect written all over him. This looks like the kind of fight, in my opinion, he will be winning. And I think it's going to be very exciting. I'm going to go with Dawson by TKO in the third round. Like I said, Bobby's a veteran. He's been through wars. But I think Dawson's the fresher fighter, and that's going to play into the fight. I think Bobby's a fight for anyone, but unfortunately, I think Grant is going to be taking him out, and it's going to be a hell of a fight, though. I know everyone tuning in is going to be in for a fight to watch. It's going to be very exciting, so I'm looking forward to it. In our co-main event, we have Abdulrazak Al Hassan. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing his names. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's been about 10 years. I'm a little rusty. I apologize in advance. I wish I was a little more prepared, but I was so eager to make my return to 1495 Sports and be back here that I was like, you know what? Screw it. I got to get back to business. I got to get back here. I got to get back on the platform, and I'm ecstatic to do that. So bear with me. I promised on the next one it'll be even better, but thank you again. Everyone over at 1495, but we have Joe Pyfer, who is also undefeated in the UFC. He's 2-0. He's coming off 2 back-to-back knockout wins against Al Hassan. And I think, again, we're going to have another finish here. I think it's going to be another exciting fight. And I think I'm going to go with Pyfer by TKO in the first round. I'll be putting down my bets on FanDuel. It's what I use. So I will be putting those will be on my lines, my parlays. So I'm going with Pyfer. We also have the extremely exciting win or lose. Joaquin Buckley will be taking on another very exciting fighter by the name of Alex Morono. And again, both these guys, win or lose, are on either on the opposite end of their own highlight reel. I'm sorry, of a highlight reel of their opponents or of their own, because they put on hella fights on both of their ends. So I'm very much looking forward to the Buckley fight with Morono. I actually think it's gonna go the distance, unlike some of these other fights that we just discussed. I think these guys are gonna go the distance. I'm gonna see. I think Buckley's gonna edge him out by decision, unanimous. I think we're gonna go with that. In addition, we got Drew Dober making his return against Ricky Glenn, and I'm, again, very much looking forward to this fight. This fight night card is not to be slept on. I know a lot of people kind of rag on the, so to speak, quality or the name value on some of these fight night cards, and while it may be debated, it could be for sure, this particular event looks like it's going to be super exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure very many are too. Again, a lot of exciting fighters, even though they may not be household names, very much in the excitement department. These gentlemen have all certainly delivered. So we have Dober and Glenn, in addition to Ion Kutuleba. I think it's Kutuleba. Against Felipe Linares. Again, forgive me for any pronunciations. I, again, need to do a bit of a better job on my second go-around on my return here, but bear with me, y'all. I love you all. We got Linez versus Cutelaba. I think I'm going to go with... Cutelaba is another guy who's very, very unpredictable. I actually probably should give my prediction for Dober and Glenn as well. Let's take a look. We got Drew Dober coming off a loss to Matt Frivola by TKO, and then it's coming off a win by Bobby Green, over Bobby Green rather, who was actually in the main event. Kind of ironic. And we have also coming off a loss is Ricky Glenn. And I think we're going to go with, Dober. I think we're going to go with Dober by stoppage. I think Dober is going to win by, I think I'll give him TKO. I'll even say, I think round 2. I think, again, I'm expecting a night of some very incredible highlight reel endings here, it seems like. And no less, Cutelaba against Felipe Linez, who is dropping from the heavyweight division, I believe, to face Cutelaba at light heavyweight. And I believe we'll also have a stoppage there, too. So far, we got all these stoppages. I think I'm going to go with, this is a coin flip for me, to be honest. I think we're going to go with Ion by TKO. Also, I'm being very, very wishful with all these finishes here, but I think we'll have it. It'll happen. We'll see on October 7th. Lastly, on the main card, we'll have it. The opener for the main card will be Alex Hernandez, Alex the Great, against Bill Algeo, and again, other guys, very, very exciting. Not as so much household names, but again, guys that are always delivering on the excitement. And I think they're going to start, this could be a new drinking game with the amount of times I've said excitement, so bear with me. But I'm working on it. 10 years rust, it really shows, and I know it, and I'm feeling it. So either way, it's fun. I'm happy. I can't stress that I'm ecstatic to be back. But Algeo Hernandez, I think... Hernandez has always been quite inconsistent for me. He's up and down. Sometimes gone on some very highlight reel wins and delivered, and then other times he's taken some really tough losses. So that said, I think we're going to go with Hernandez and then go with Alex the Great on this one I think we're going to call it decision. I think he'll be able to outwork him over the 15 minutes, and he's coming off 2 losses, so he really, really, really needs this one. I think he'll be able to put Algeo away, at least by decision. So we'll see it. That will be the main card for the UFC on this Saturday. In addition to some UFC action, we actually have some Bellator action. They will be bringing us a monumental card. It will be Bellator 300. I'm actually very surprised that despite predating the UFC by about 20 years, Bellator is making it to 300 before the UFC. So we have UFC 300 in the loom. UFC 300 will be probably sometime early 2024. However, this Saturday, we have Bellator 300 with not 1, not 2, but 3 title fights. Unfortunately, there was supposed to be 4, but Linton Vassell will not be in action, so they scrapped the light heavyweight title fight. Yes, light heavyweight. The light heavyweight, I get confused. Bader is a multi-champion. He's had the heavyweight gold, and he also had the light heavyweight title. So he actually is defending his light heavyweight strap against Linton Vassell. And unfortunately, it will not be happening because Linton has, I believe, suffered an illness. So that will not be happening, unfortunately. So we'll see a 3-match card this weekend with Bellator 300, and it's still going to be a hell of a show. I definitely recommend tuning in. I'm really looking forward to it, and it's going to be fun. I mean, it's very rare you see UFC versus Bellator, and it's going to be something to certainly watch. Forgive me now because I'm now thinking about it, and I'm trying to double check myself while we're here, but it might be for heavyweight. Let me just, I apologize. I'm being very transparent here. I should have been brushing up on my homework a little bit more. But yes, it is, in fact, challenge heavyweight. I apologize. It was heavyweight champion. So I'm glad I checked because I stand corrected. That is right. That Bader dropped the title at light heavyweight. He's currently still the heavyweight champion at Bellator. To my knowledge, both men have fought at light heavyweight, so forgive me for the confusion. I apologize for that. I'm glad I double checked, and this is why we do this. But in any case, back to it. There will be no heavyweight title fight. There will be 3 other title fights that night, and we'll be looking at, starting with the main event, the cousin of one of the greatest of all time, Khabib Nurmagomedov, will be his cousin, Usman, against Brent Primus, and that will be the main event of Bellator 300, which I cannot wait. He's undefeated in the ring, in the cage, so to speak, and Usman is someone I think is going to be very much like Khabib, which is a fighter that people are going to talk about for very many ages, very many bits to come, and I'm very much expecting a dominant performance here. He's looked solid against all of his competition thus far. I think he's going to take it by submission in the second round. I think he's going to overwhelm Primus, and we'll see him win, and it's going to be 18-0. I think he's going to keep the O for quite a bit of time. In the co-main event, we have the return of Chris Cyborg against Kat Zingano, which is a real good, I mean, this for women's MMA, this is such a cool thing to see because they're both historic fighters and have done so much for WMMA. So it's really, really cool to see this one come together. That said, I believe Chris takes this one by TKO in the second round. She's extremely savage, but it's going to be a fun fight. Like I said, very historic, and I'm glad it's happening on such a historic night at Bellator 300. And in addition to that, we also have some more WMMA, other women that have been holding it down in the WMMA history department. We have, for the women's flyweight title in Bellator, we have Liz Carmouche against Alima Lee, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that one, McFarlane, and she'll be in action. I think I'm going to go with Carmouche by decision, but those are going to be your 3 title fights for Bellator 300. I'm very much looking forward to it. You get a double dose, huge, amazing weekend, Saturday, of MMA action for everyone tuning in on this Saturday, October 7th. Like I said, you got UFC Fight Night, Dawson versus Bobby Green, and then we also have Bellator 300. It's going to be awesome. I know everyone's going to be talking MMA all day. I'm looking forward to it. I've really needed some more MMA coming on down the line here. So always happy to see and talk MMA. Thank you all for tuning in. I have been thinking about so many different things, MMA expos and other events. Hopefully we can check out very soon. We've had people like Aljamain Sterling. We've had Matt Serra, former UFC light heavyweight champion as well, Glover Teixeira. I was also a former UFC featherweight and respectively welterweight champions in Aljo and Matt Serra. And like I said, the aforementioned Glover Teixeira have all been interviewed on The Great Mixer with Steven Dumeng, and I'm very happy to bring you that all. Hopefully we'll get even more of that kind of content down the way very soon. So I just, again, big thank you all. Big thank you, 1495. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for making this all happen again. I'm here in lovely Brooklyn, New York, and I'm so happy to be a part of this again. So I will mention it one more time. I love it. I'm happy. Always joyful to talk MMA. Always happy to be here at 1495. You guys check them out. You guys tune into all their videos. And stay tuned to more MMA talk with The Mixer. Thank you so much for tuning in. Cheers. Talk to you soon.